Welcome to the Porcupine Speed Shop. All it is just a little spot down here in my basement. And got the wood stove going tonight. And it's gonna be a cold one, minus 17 Celsius. This machine here is gonna be the first one we start wrenching on a little bit. My boys are itching to get their hands on this. This is an 03 F7. First order of operation is we're losing a little bit of precious Cinto. So we got to find out where that's coming from. This is pretty much all original machine. It's got some CNA Pro skis on it. It's got a Y pipe, and I believe it has a timing key in there. And it's been a great sled. It's got like 12,000 miles on it. There's a power commander that I'll probably be selling. I can't seem to get any gains out of that. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna find out where that leak is, fix that. And after that, we are going to be, we just have an old team clutch on here that I found kicking around, and we threw it on there just to make things work for now. I've got a brand new clutch and some adjustable weights, and I'll share my setup with you guys. And we're gonna do some testing on this sled here as soon as the ice is good. It's already well studded up. And follow along. We'll call this the F7 series, I guess. So like I mentioned, this machine's got a team clutch on it from, I think it's an 800. I just had it kicking around. The kids wanted the machine to go. We needed another clutch. I threw it on. Here is the old clutch from this sled, and it actually locked with it engaged, and I'll tell you why. So what happened on this clutch is the rollers wore out, and the weight actually went in and touched up here on the very top, on the roof of the spider, and held the clutch from disengaging. So it just kept it wide open like this. So I hadn't been watching this clutch, and here's what a wore out roller looks like. See those big notches in it like that? Here's what a new one should look like. Nice and smooth, easy to roll. Oh, it's a little bit of pitting on there. This is a brand new clutch, so I'm gonna clean that up. Looks a lot worse on the camera. So some of these rollers are a little bit pitted, but what you do is you lift on them up and down, and you're looking for slop. So the bushing on the inside of that is wore. And what happened is that wore so much that it let that weight go up in there and lock the clutch open. So someone might say, well, that clutch is junk, and that's why you bought another one. Well, it's actually not junk. There's a couple little things that happened. I see one of the set screws on the weight backed out, and it wore a little hole there. Not a big deal. And anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna completely rebuild this clutch. There's a bushing in here, and there's a bushing down in the bottom here, and then there's these spider buttons. So when you grab your clutch and twist it back and forth like that, you see how much slop is in there? It's because these little buttons in here are wore out. Well, guess what? You can buy new buttons from Thunder Products. They will send you a complete setup to rebuild your clutch. I've got new pins for this one with the little indent in it. This is from an 04, we call that a fixed pin clutch. New rollers are going in this clutch. And then we're just gonna keep that. We've got brand new weights from Firecat. I believe they're 70 grams. And we're gonna have this clutch as a spare. This one, I got brand new for $300, and look how nice and tight that is when I twist that back and forth. So everything on this clutch is new, works very well, and we're gonna put a set of adjustable weights on this guy, and then we're gonna put it in that sled. Okay, we got our clutch puller in, we greased up the threads, and we greased up the tip. Got a Makita impact. Wishful thinking, be very surprised if this comes off. Nope. So we use the tools we have. The end of the hammer works great because it's padded, and I just need to hold this clutch while I really crank down on it with this guy. There we go, just like that. Okay, this is the team clutch right here. This is off the newer 2016 and 2021. This is an older cat clutch, which looks like this. And a lot of people don't know this, but when you measure the sheaves across on a team clutch, they're only 8 inches on the sheaves. And on the newer styles, we are 8 1/4. Well, what does that mean? Well, that's a bigger, smaller front sprocket. If you're talking in the world of bicycles, when you put your bicycle in the front gear into a higher gear, you will get more speed out of it. So a cat clutch will actually mile an hour more than a team clutch, and you can compensate for that with gearing, but the belt will go to the top of this primary and it'll give you a higher mile an hour than on this guy because that's a smaller clutch. Okay, so these pins are wore out. They've got quite an edge on it right there, and so good for us. The new ones came with the clutch. These little washers, O-rings, come with it, and I'm going to show you. We're going to replace them with a Thunder Products Go Ring, they call it, and all it is a little, I don't know if it's Durling or plastic, and I'm going to put that on there, and I'll show you after what happens compared to an O-ring style. Okay, I've got one weight installed, and I use those little Durling Go Rings that Thunder Products sells, and this is a brand new clutch. I'm going to show you the difference. That's me lifting the weight up and dropping it. See how nice that moves? There's bushings in here, but those little washers were meant to stop the vibration. They were originally O-rings like this guy right here. Check out this weight. See how it's stiff and moving? Times that by 3, and that's the difference that you'll get. With these guys, it just makes your shifting way smoother, makes everything work the way it was supposed to. So we had 70-gram weights to put in that clutch that are non-adjustable, and I'm not sure why I purchased those, but I took a Dalton weight out that I had in there, and it weighs 75 grams. So I noticed there's something in the back. I forget what I was doing last year, but I know I was really happy with it. So 75, 76. So we're gonna make this base weight here, which is 70, 71, weigh the same as what came out of it. So that is what we pulled out of that existing weight, and that's what we'll be putting back in the new ones. So we actually took the secondary clutch off and just kind of looked it over. The rollers are doing their job, but they're a little bit loose in the bushings. We greased the shaft there a little bit. In the secondary, we're running a 53-degree helix. It's the only helix I've had consistent results with a green spring, which I'll use on the trail, and I'll show you what I do when we put her into race mode. Clark's got the secondary clutch, or the primary clutch, all ready to rock and roll. Let's get his new weights in, and we put, we did a little research. We couldn't remember what we had in this other clutch, but an orange white, and I think it's a 143 start and a 280 finish, and we're running 75-gram weights. So we took 70-gram weights and we loaded them with a short slug and then a long slug, and we Loctited the last slug that we put in so it doesn't sneak out, because when it does sneak out, this is what you get. This. Anyways, we're gonna strap her back together and then pick a belt. Okay, clutch is on. We're about to put the bolt in. A little fun fact, when you use the bolt again, you have to actually trim this part down. So I've got that buzz down in order to fit the fixed pin with this bolt from an 03. Anyway, the 03 clutches, they didn't have that little set screw in there, and the weights had a bushing in the weights and not in the clutch. Anyway, when it changed, you had to actually grind your bolt down. So if anyone's doing that mod, that's why. You'll have to do the same thing.